My video for January the 4th, 2018 is entitled, Where Does Your Straw Man Live? Most people have no idea what the straw man is. It's a legal construct devised by the cabal or elite establishment that has claimed rulership of the world going back centuries at the very least. What they did is take the birth name given to you by your parents and turn you into a legal corporation. Now, you need to know that the most legal things that have been implemented are unlawful. They are not the same thing. The legal system is a con job. In a true system of law, human beings have natural rights. Some of these in the original United States were enumerated in the Bill of Rights and the 3 amendments that followed. The 13th Amendment was later changed unlawfully. From that point, human rights have been gradually eroded, replaced with what these charlatans call privileges. If and when natural law is reestablished, the crimes against humanity will bring the new birth of freedom envisioned by at least some of the founders of the U.S. Republic. Let me just say that it's 34 degrees here where I am, and for Florida, that's really, really cold. I went for a walk yesterday, and man, my ears got really, really cold, and it was only 50 degrees at the time that I went for my walk. So I'm going to have to get earmuffs, or I have a scarf, and I can put the scarf, I guess, over my head or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, that's an aside. It's not the subject that I'm dealing with today, but I just throw that in at the beginning of this video because it made an impact how cold it's getting here in Florida. But this straw man legal fiction, natural rights issue is one that has been on my mind for many, many years now, going back at least into the 1990s, when I began to experience somewhat of an awakening and recognize that the political structure of our world is, as I said in the blurb, one that has gradually eroded our natural rights, and they try to eliminate a whole bunch of things. And in the United States, people still have the natural right to bear arms, that is, to arm themselves. In countries like Ireland, for example, when they were challenged, they gave up their guns. The people gave up their guns, making it a totalitarian state. It is actually the ability of the population to be weaponized that gives some protection against the wiles of the state that want to have total dominance and total control, because again, the state is not run by people with high ideals. Contrary-wise, it's run by people who have a need to control others, to keep information that is detrimental to their control grid from getting to the hearts and minds of the population. That has not worked in the United States because of the foundational principles enumerated in the Bill of Rights and in the first 3 original amendments or additions to that Bill of Rights, which was, of course, the 10 enumerated rights. One of which, besides bearing arms, is to the right to freedom of speech, as long as the speech does not, you can't run in and yell fire and create a situation in which people panic and people may be hurt. That's, you can, if there is a real fire, of course you can yell fire, but you can't do something that just arouses the people and creates pandemonium. But in general, we can say what we want. We can agree with We can agree or disagree with things, and the people who have the most to lose by freedom of speech are the people who don't want people to know certain things. And of course, that's the elite establishment. They don't want you to know how they have taken your human rights away from you and everybody else, and they don't want you to know their game plan to be the absolute power. They don't want you to know, for example, that their game plan is to reduce the world's population and actually make us robots, artificial intelligence, AIs. You know, there's a whole bunch of things that have been going on in this world for a long time that have been kept secret from the majority of people, because even the mainstream media is part of the elite's game plan. And that's why the alternative media is so important. And there are reports that people, even at the head of was it Facebook or YouTube, I can't remember, the main corporation have been arrested, and many people, including Hillary Clinton and others, have been arrested and are being taken to Guantanamo base or Gitmo and being charged on a martial law basis, a military law basis, with crimes against humanity. And this, of course, is supposedly Donald Trump's plan to take the cabal out, especially those that have participated in rampant pedophilia, which is, of course, a sick, demented mindset of the elite establishment, who drain the life force out of the most innocent of us, which of course is our babies and children. And they engage in all sorts of demonic activities that they are trying to get legalized. But again, legal and lawful are two different things. If we lived in a system of law, we would have a recompense. We would be able to speak our mind. We wouldn't be squashed by the so-called courts and said, you can't say that, because they even changed the language into language which doesn't mean what we think it means, because they've assigned different meanings, like understand, as I've said in other videos. Understand means, do you stand under, not do you comprehend. And so these things have been put in place to erode our natural rights and to demote us from being human beings to being corporate slaves. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather die than be a corporate slave of any group that runs roughshod over my natural rights to be and to say and to think freely. I don't go along with all of this Jew and fake Jew and Rothschild plan. Some people say the Rothschilds aren't even in charge anymore. There's another establishment that even supersedes the Rothschilds. I don't know that, but there's all sorts of rumors and innuendos that are being put forth. And as I've said in other videos, it's difficult sometimes to determine what is true and what isn't. But this I know to be true. We have natural rights, and I believe they were given to us by whatever our creator is, the true creator, the highest creator, called God. And I stand on those rights, and I will continue to stand on them as long as I have breath. I do not intend to be silenced willfully. As far as Cindy K. Courier goes, there's rumors back and forth that she took her own web page down, and someone said that they actually talked to her yesterday, and she's fine, she's okay. I don't know that, but that's the reports that I'm getting. Others do say that she was arrested, and that her page was taken down, a YouTube channel was taken down by external forces, but she still has her Twitter account. I guess that's still up, but she hasn't used it for a good while. I don't know about all these things, but these are things that relate to some of my previous videos and link this video to the ones that were before it, at least to some degree. Anyway, folks, thank you for listening, and namaste.